we have people who have been in marriage for over 30 years. The marriage was happy as far as they could tell. There were no issues. And so they were blindsided when the husband just got up and walked away. Is this common? What causes it? And how can a woman recover from that?
Well, this is my story. I was in the happiest, most beautiful relationship. It was 18 years. Over 30 years is even more devastating because your entire adult life practically has been devoted to believing that it would go on forever. But in my case, my 18 years of this beautiful relationship suddenly ended. My marital partner left me for another younger woman. So in my case, what had happened was that, sort of a cliche, being left for another woman. So, but what happens is, especially I think for women, we create a home. We're nesters. We're not traditionally as much into conquering the world outside, although many of us do. I think both you and I probably do a lot of outside the world conquering, but traditionally we create the hearth, the home. We build a life around love and commitment and a person, make them happy and somehow cope with all the wrinkles that occur in a relationship. And somehow, very often, women get blindsided because that whole world of theirs is shattered when their partner doesn't feel that this is the center of his life. He has the world outside and other interests, or gets an idea about what would make him happier. And this happens frequently.
So it's frequent. So, how does a woman move forward when she's been abandoned? The reason why this question is important is that um, this interview series has made me understand that being abandoned when you thought the marriage was going well can be more shocking than if you knew you had issues. So, people who have had issues might find it easier to recover. How does a woman recover when you didn't see it coming?
Well, let's just start right off saying it's very, very challenging. It is truly a crisis, an emotional crisis. And the rest of the world has a hard time recognizing how severe the crisis is. So, the one thing that we have to do for each other as women who've been through this is validate that, in fact, this is almost a life threatening crisis. It hurts so much because, as you point out, we didn't see it coming. There was no preparation. We don't have a reason in our head as to what happened. So that we are bewildered in addition to feeling abandoned. So the feeling of bewilderment means we really lose a sense of control because when we can understand something, we gain, okay, not a lot, but a little bit of control over it by understanding it. When it's beyond our understanding, which is a very common thing, this does happen a lot, there is no control. So it's as if you could be just floating in your life and boom, for no reason it can be taken away from you. So the disillusionment and the bewilderment add to the rest of it. But the biggest burden of it is the shame, because it's very hard to talk about shame because that's the one thing hardest for us to admit to. But by being suddenly blindsided, we have the shame of being naive and foolish and not seeing it coming. We have the shame of being considered unacceptable, disposable, throw us out to the curb, wait for the garbage trucks to pick us up as if we have no value. We have the shame of loving our partner and doing everything we can to participate and make the relationship work, but it not being enough. We're not enough. So there is this tremendous crisis of bewilderment and shame and, of course, fear, because without trusting in anything, then for a while, where do we go? How do we move forward? We can move forward. There is life after abandonment. We do gain strength from it. We do turn it into an opportunity for growth. but not overnight and not by snapping our fingers. It's a whole program, a process that we have to work.